It's here, the final Star Wars film ever. Well, sort of. But either way, it's going to be epic.
This will be the final word in the story of Skywalker.
The Resistance are back, and they're lightsabering and blasting their way to bring down those pesky First Order mofos.
It's a juicy movie.
It's so juicy.
What he's done is it's astounding. It's just him and Chris Terrio and everyone, but particularly these guys that have just shaped this and molded this thing and had so much pressure, so much riding on it to finish this 9-episode series, this incredible saga, and to stick the landing the way that they did.
It's an unbelievable task to complete for people who care about this so much. And the fact that JJ got to close out this piece of history.
It feels right, doesn't it? It was director J.J. Abrams who revived the Star Wars saga with The Force Awakens in 2015. And now he has the mammoth task of bringing this baby home.
As much as there is pressure and noise, you go into it knowing you're not going to please everyone, but you do the best you can to tell the story that moves you, and that's what we try to focus on.
There were some decisions made in the last Star Wars film, The Last Jedi, directed by Rian Johnson, that divided fans, like the death of Luke Skywalker and Rey's family tree. You inherited some choices that Rian Johnson had made. Were there any choices he made that you had to possibly untie?
Some of the things that, just as a fan of not just the series but of Rian's, that I was excited to see that he decided not to do. For example, have the whole group together, weirdly allowed us to do something that was, I think, sort of celebratory in having this group out on this crazy adventure together, which we've never gotten to see. So there's a lot that gets to happen in this movie that I feel Episode 8, Last Jedi sets up.
It's been more than 4 decades since Luke, Han and Leia joined forces to blow up the Death Star. But with the passing of Carrie Fisher in 2016, J.J. Abrams had to figure out how to include Princess Leia in this final film, because it wouldn't be Star Wars without her.
Governor Tuck, I recognised your foul stench when I was brought on board.
Charming.
They decided to use unused scenes from the 2015 film, The Force Awakens.
The truth is, had we had Carrie around, and heartbreakingly we did not, we would have done, I'm sure, a few different things. We would have added some stuff that would have been great. And of course, she'd be here today, which would make the day much more fun. But the reality that we had the material that was actually her saying things that we needed her to say was vaguely, weirdly miraculous.
To kind of exhume that footage from another movie, and you think, well, if it wasn't good enough for the other movie, why should it be good enough for the end? But all those caveats or anxieties that I had about it were completely put to rest when I saw how they'd done it, and it's seamless.
We've already seen lead character Rey be lured by the dark side, but in this new flick, things seem to have gone to a whole new level. We see Rey with a red lightsaber. Mm-hmm. This could push us over the edge. Please say it ain't so.
Let's hope.
Let's hope it's not. Well, JJ has said this series is about hope.
Yeah, and I do think it's a very hopeful film anyway. The best thing about Star Wars is all these characters are in such dire straits, up against impossible odds, but there's the safety of that it's Star Wars. That's not to say that people aren't really tested and there aren't real consequences in the film.
And we can't forget about Finn and Poe.
Oh, Darren, you're alive.
Buddy, so are you. What happened? What happened? I got thrown from the crash. That's my jacket. No. Keep it. It suits you.
John Boyega, who plays Finn, is pushing hard for this bromance to flourish off-screen too. So he wrote Oscar Isaac a letter and shared it online.
It would be fantastic if you would accompany me to the premiere of Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. I think I get a +1.
I want to talk about the off-screen bromance between Oscar and John. Well, John seems to be playing it hard.
Yeah, I kind of laid back and let it come to me. You know, I'm one of those kind of guys. You know, he's really upfront with it. So.
Well, he feels confident in it. He's going after what he wants.
It's true. He's seeing what he wants. He's grabbing it.
He coming now. Yeah, he got that letter and he was like, oh, I'm going to come. He wasn't going to come before. So the letter has definitely changed things.
Star Wars is a franchise everybody wants in on, including apparently the royal family. Prince William and Harry had cameos. Well, they filmed cameos in The Last Jedi. It was cut. Is that awkward being English? Like, you're probably going to meet the Queen at some point if you haven't already.
I've not met the Queen. It's not that awkward because even at the premiere, apparently there's this hilarious thing. I'm like, because we had to wait for like them to come and do their own thing, and I was like, dude, I want to see my own film. Like, I don't need to shake your hand.
In Star Wars, we know no one is ever really gone for good. We haven't seen Billy D. Williams as Lando Calrissian since 1983 in Return of the Jedi. But now the smuggler turned Rebel Alliance general is back. You're looking very good for 82. Lando's taking care of himself. Harrison Ford said he, and some of the other actors as well, have said how emotional they were when they stepped on the Millennium Falcon for The Force Awakens. What was it like for you to step back in to the Falcon?
It was good. It was great. It was fun. It brought back a lot of memories.
What have you done to my ship? Your ship? Hey, remember, you lost her to me fair and square.
If you could go back and give yourself any advice when you were cast in The Force Awakens, what would it be?
Get a haircut between films, mate. You don't need to, man. Look, mate, you don't need to hold on to that hair between movies. Get the haircut so people won't think you're thin in real life. It will help. It will help.
I do think that being on a set where you have hundreds of people in alien makeup and costume, you know, in the middle of a desert, having to take bathroom breaks and food breaks and heat breaks and prayer breaks, and you've got, you know, puppets being operated by, you know, a dozen puppeteers under the sand, and you've got droids that are being operated by people, and you've got, you know, actors in costumes, you've got the sun is going down, you've got the light. I mean, the number of visual effects, special effects, the issues that have to be dealt with all at one time. I think the advice I would probably give myself is you know, go learn how to, like, you know, run a circus.
British actor and Star Wars mega fan Richard E. Grant has joined the cast for this final flick, and he had quite the reaction after seeing the film.
I shouted, I fist pumped the air, I cried, I stood and cheered. It's absolutely everything that you hoped it was going to be.
You almost gave the first review. When you press send, were you nervous?
There's a big lockdown and secrecy of everything while we were shooting, and no script being allowed to be shown or taken home or any of that. I couldn't even tell the people that I knew and loved the name of my character, including my family. So, but that didn't go through my mind last night when I got back from the screening. I got back to the hotel room and just, you know, self-taped something because I couldn't wait to express how thrilled I was by what J.J. Abrams has created.
The trailer gave me chills and hit me in all the right spots. Right. I mean, you know, 3PO and of course Carrie Fisher. Am I going to cry in this, Oscar?
You're going to wet yourself.
I mean, I've almost wet myself now.
Yeah.
Please keep the cameras where they are.
Yeah. I got a frog in my throat.
Yeah.
And that's just, you know, crying doesn't come easy to me.
It is very emotional. I think even by the fact it's the end, it's already nostalgic. You haven't, like most people haven't seen it, and you already feel a certain type of way because it's the end. But it is emotional, yeah.
What are you doing there in 3PO?
Taking one last look, sir, at my friends.
Sorry, can you do it in 3PO's voice?
Oh, no, I think Jesus, it's embarrassing. Well, how do I do it? Where do I get it?
You bring your voice slightly up here, and then you get very tight and tense and get... Taking one last look, sir, at my friends.
Well, I mean, I'm going to cry. I'm not going to do it. You know, I can give the Australian C-3PO.
Oh, yeah, go for it.
I'm taking one last look at my mates. I mean, that's...
It's not bad.
It's not bad.
Yeah, it's bad.